Hey, what is up, everybody? I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you guys are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. If you guys have been to my channel before, please like this video. Today's video is a very exciting one. It's been about 5 months in the works, and it has been my biggest undertaking yet. So let's get straight into it. So this is the first video from a series. The first two videos are going to be talking about the plane. This video I'm going to go over the front, this engine cover, what is under here, and the wings. Next video is going to be talking about the elevators and rudders because those are its own specific test design, right? So the few videos after that are going to be CFD testing the plane, making modifications, going back testing. Next, we're gonna have the production of the plane, like printing it out. After that, we're gonna have the actual build of the plane, and then we're gonna have the maiden test. So this is the very first video, and let's get straight into it. All right, the first thing we're gonna be talking about is the engine cover. If you look over here, this is all the research I've done for the plane. Right up here. For the plane capable of 120 miles an hour, you might aim for a wingspan between 36 and 38 inches. Shorter wingspans are better suited for high-speed, high-agility flights, but going too short will reduce your lift and could make the plane hard to control. So we're aiming for 36 to 48. Mine is 25.63. So that will help with agility and maneuverability, but it's going to be hard to control through turbulence. So one way I've counteracted it is with a perfect center of gravity. Let's go to Part Studio so I can show you guys where the center of gravity is really on this plane. Right there. We're not going to mark that servo down there so we can keep the center of gravity where it truly is. Mark that. Don't mark the pins in the back. Click on here. Right there. Let it focus. Right there, display mass and section properties. Those are all the parts. So this plane feels solid PLA, aluminum, and whatnot, because I've labeled all of these as aluminum PLA, closest densities. This would be 2.87 pounds. I'm aiming between 1.5 to 2 pounds in total. And the center of gravity, right above, it's dead center of the plane, right above the end of the wing. So that helps with high speed and maneuverability and control of the plane. And it's dead center of the chord of the wing. Since the wing has a 7-degree sweep, that's dead center. Go back to assembly. Right here. Let's talk about the wings before we get down inside of the hatch. So these wings have a 7-degree sweep, as I've said. They have a 0-degree pitch upwards on the ends, so they're not slightly higher up here than they are here. That helps a lot with the maneuver, with the acrobatics of the plane, because if you have a pitch up at the ends, that's going to make the plane's tendency to level back out. So if you're doing a bank angle, the plane will have a tendency to level out, so that'd make it unpredictable. So the fact that it doesn't have any upward angle on the ends helps it stay flat at whatever degree you put it. Since these airfoils in particular, this is the NACA 2412 airfoil. It is a semi-symmetrical aerofoil, so it's very even and well suited for acrobatics and some high-speed flight. Here, when you look at the CL versus CD, coefficient of lift over the coefficient of drag, at the angles, those are your drag. At these coefficients of lift, that's your coefficient of drag. So it's a relatively even coefficient of lift to drag as you go through the angles. Coefficient of lift over your angle of attack is still very compact, so it's quite predictable. Coefficient of drag at your angle of attack. These are your angle of attack. Coefficient of drag. Again, as you can tell, predictable at pretty much every Reynolds number. These two, coefficient of lift divided by coefficient of drag versus alpha, this is a very important one. As you can see, they do get more volatile as you go faster, though that's to be expected with every plane, and they do follow a relatively even margin all the way through. Okay, so going back to the wing. The wing does have a slope front to back of 1.95 degrees stock, so that does help with its lift slightly. You have embedded servos in the wings. The servos are right here. Flight Test 9-gram version 2 servos. I use these on my on my other planes, and they work very well. If these electronics work, if the plane works well, I'm gonna switch. These are the B pack from Flight Test. I want to switch to the C pack if these work well. And the servos are embedded in the wing, as you can see here, and they have an aerodynamic cover that flows well with the wing, right there. This is the path for the servo wire. Takes through the wing and up through the battery bay, over and to the receiver. So let me introduce you guys to the inside. This is your receiver. This is a different receiver that I'm using. I was planning on getting a different receiver, but if I already have this one, I might as well use it. This is your ESC. There'll be Gorilla Tape to the sides. That's why they're essentially just floating. This is your firewall. It is 0.35 inches thick. This is your battery box, and that's for another video. This is your battery box, so I could have cut out a lot more weight. As you can see, it is very girthy on the ends, down there too. So this is the most structural component of the whole plane. What this helps with is all the wings mount onto it, so it feels all the forces from the wings, so it naturally has to be the strongest. It feels all the G's from the wings. So I had to reinforce it significantly since I want this to be a high-speed plane and an aerobatic plane. That's why this battery box seems to be holding just about everything together, because it almost is. These are the pins that you mount the wings onto it with. This is your wing mounts on the body. And then this tube right here, you see it doesn't have pretty much anything, it's just empty. That's where a carbon fiber tube will feed through, right here. That is your carbon fiber tube that will sling throughout the whole wing into the body to make it a lot more rigid. These are the ends of the wings. They're called winglets or spoilers. The idea behind winglets is to reduce the strength of tip vortices and therefore cause the flow across the wing to be more two-dimensional. Flight tests at NASA Data and Flight Research Center have found a 6.5% reduction in fuel use of a Boeing 707 type airliner when using winglets. Moving on to the elevators. So the way these elevators will mount are 0.5 inch thick rectangular pieces of PET G rubber filament. Since they're quite flexible, they can bend 15 degrees each way. That's plenty for my ailerons. And you're gonna have 0.25 inch thick sections going into the wing and 0.25 inch thick section going into your elevators. You have 3 pieces, one far end, one on the close end, one in the middle, and one on the far end. Next, as you can see, there's no like servo horn, or there's no section for the servo linkage to mount to the wing. So what I'm gonna do is I have a servo connector that slots into the wing. I still have to make the slot though, from one of my other planes, and I'll just hot glue that in place over here with a metal rod coming from the servo, and that'll be how I control the ailerons. So that pretty much covers just about everything for the first video. I'll see you guys in the next video explaining the back section. Have a great one, everyone.